once more. Once again, I'm privileged to talk to teachers of Talek Girls High School. I've been to your school, and I really enjoyed my stay there. There was an arrangement that was made by Madam, and when I arrived, I felt quite at home, having traversed the Masai Mara Park. I really enjoyed myself. So I'm privileged to stand before you and to share a few things here and there. We have come a long way. She was at the same college where I was, Mo University. You are 2 years behind number one.
It was 1 year.
1 year behind us. And we quite knew each other, and there is the former principal of Narok High School, Mr. Seret. I believe some of you may know Mr. Seret. Mr. Seret is a great friend of mine because we graduated the same year, and I've been coming to Masai land every now and again, and he slaughters me a goat. So I'm one of you. Whenever I go to Masai land, I really feel quite a sub-county. It's not very far from here. So that is where I am. I've been there for quite a while now, and I believe that the experiences that I've gathered from other places, I should be able to talk to you. Of course, I do a lot of motivational talk across the country. You've seen some of my videos. I will give you the link so that you should also be able to see what I do apart from teaching. There are other things that I do in life. So I wanted to share with you this evening. I want you to relax. We don't want to have a kind of a lecture, talking to you as if you're children, or talking to you like you've not come for a retreat. This is a retreat, and we really want you to enjoy yourself while you are in Kisumu. I would want to welcome you officially now to Kisumu. You've gone to places, you've been to Dunga. Some of you have taken fish. The big one. How was it? It was delicious, and you were able to also have the boat ride. And that is good. I know others might have feared. They don't like it. You know where you come from? You live closer to the park. That means you are more aligned to these wild animals, but not to water. But some of us, that is where we find a lot of pleasure when we go to the lake and you relax. And I believe you enjoyed yourself when you were there. So when Madam hinted to me that I should come over and talk to you, I felt this is a great privilege, but I didn't know what to talk about. I didn't know whether to talk about my life vis-a-vis your life, or probably bring a lot of school issues here. But I said I would integrate everything and we share experiences now that I've been to so many places. But I wanted to talk about teamwork in an environment like a school, and what we can do to build our schools, to get the results that we need. And I wanted also to talk about it vis-a-vis the goals that we set in life, because every one of us has got a goal. Madam must have had her goals. Currently she's a principal, and I believe that she's got more than 10 more years to work. So you can imagine, she's got a lot of time before her to explore as much as she can. I also believe that all of us, you are very young staff. When I look at you, I'm older than almost all of you. Is there anyone who is older than me here? How old are you? How old are you? 50. We are age mates. So I'm around there. So it means that there are a lot of things that I may know that you may not know. But the good thing is that we are all colleagues and we are all teachers. So it is a bit of trying to share experiences. How do you build a team? At a table like what Madam has done, it is very rare to get a principal that carries along the support staff together with the teachers for a trip. And I want to thank you, Madam. It is a great thing. It does not work in every institution. So the moment you see your principal bringing all the non-staff, the non-teaching staff, and the teaching staff for a trip, then you know you have a very good principal. So even at the level of the department, there is need to respect your HODs, because at any given time, God only appoints one leader. True or false? You may not know. That person that God has given the opportunity at that particular time becomes your leader. That person may have a lot of weaknesses, but still that person is your leader. Because if God were to look for weaknesses, then I don't think that David would be a very good leader. Because you know the experiences that we have had with David. But God also says, David, the son of Jesse, a man after my own heart. So that means actually God loved David. But if you look at the weaknesses of David, someone who can admire someone's wife, then even organizes to kill that person and takes the wife. But God still says, a man after my own heart. So your leaders can have so many weaknesses. You look at them, but it is that person that God has appointed at that particular time. It is the principal, madam, that has been appointed by God to be the principal. But again, I learned that even at the levels of our departments, you can form a very formidable team at that particular time. So if you respect that person, that is when your star also begins to rise or shine. But if you don't respect that person, I've learned from experience that if you don't respect those that are your leaders, then you also don't move. You'll be stagnating because you'll be picking a lot of negatives. And as you pick a lot of negatives, God also takes a lot of negatives from you. And finally, as people rise, you wonder why you don't rise. Because it is simple. You didn't respect those who were your leaders at that particular time. So there is that respect that I would always want to talk about our leaders. And a good example is David. There is also another one called Saul. You remember the story of Saul? Mm-hmm. And there was a time that David could have killed Saul.
Yes.
How many people read the Bible? There is a time that David could have killed Saul. He moved so close until there is one of the items from Saul that he picked, but he couldn't. Because David knew that God only appoints a leader at a particular time. Saul could have had a lot of weaknesses, very glaring weaknesses, but still he was the leader at that particular time, and therefore David respected that. So at your own departmental levels, we expect that bit of respect. Now, for the school to run, you must have a goal. I believe at this particular time we all have our targets at the departments. Like I've set mine at my school. I know English has got this, Swahili has got this, and the school mean for this year, the target is this one. And again, if you don't have a team, that will not happen. Every individual is aware that our focus is here and this is what we intend to do. And therefore, people sing the same song. It becomes a rallying call that this year our mean is supposed to be 8. This year for English, this is supposed to be our 8. And the support staff comes in. They know that they have to prepare meals early enough for the students. Because we have also to manage our time. Is that not so? Sure. So they know that this is a noble responsibility that they have been given. They prepare things early. The groundsmen are there. And they make sure that the school is clean. We have the lab assistants are there. We have the bursar, the clerk. Everyone is working towards a goal. And when that happens and everyone is focused on that particular goal, then you realize that getting to that goal becomes very easy. Even when you've got the goal there, and now you are looking at the strategies, how do we reach our goal? Maybe our mean is 8 this year, that's what we want. How do we reach that goal? There are the strategies. And the strategies actually must come down from the leader, and it spills over to the HODs. Then from the HODs, it now moves to the teachers. And finally, we have our target and our goal before us, and we must work hard towards that. Now, as a team, what is your role? That those within us that are very weak, we are not at the same level. We may have gone to the best universities, but in terms of our experiences, we are not at the same level. So you must also be able to carry the burden of some of the people that are around you. If you are an HOD, you have a huge responsibility. I was just sharing with her I know her daughter is at Kisumu Girls High School. One of the best teachers of Kisumu Girls High School is Mr. Paul Nyamita. Many people have heard about Mr. Nyamita. Actually, he is the best in terms of English teaching, and recently he got an award as the best English teacher nationally because of the kind of things that he does. He's also currently the one that has introduced rugby at Kisumu Girls High School, and the school is going with rugby to the national. And that is someone that I've actually nurtured while I was at myself. Then because I like writing, of course, I've written quite a number of books. He picked it up from me. Now he's doing better than I do because I nurtured him. So as a leader, you must nurture those those that you are working with. If you are an HOD, you must nurture those young thugs that are coming to the department. That is your role. We have to be very open. We come with a lot of issues, like you can join a department, you drink, which is not very bad. But again, even TSC talks about TMEC. They have come up with a program called TMEC. So it is up to the HOD to make sure that even as you drink responsibly. When you are away from school, I don't think there is a principal who needs to call first. Sir, that's where are you? We can't see you. The HOD should be able to call that person, and maybe the person explains himself or herself. And the HOD now should take that to the principal, other than coming from top and going down, and it creates a lot of chaos. So sometimes it is better as a leader to know those that you lead at your own levels, so that if they miss to come to school, you are able to talk to that person. Where are you? Maybe the person is sick and that kind of stuff. So that we become our brothers what? Keepers, even at the levels of our department. And remember, we have a goal. And that is why everyone must become extremely responsible in everything that we do. So I was talking about this weak person. And I was reading an article. I like reading Think Like a Winner. There is something in this book. The writer says that you cannot move as fast. You can only move as fast as the slowest car in front of you. I don't know whether you're getting the picture. That if in front of you there is the slowest car or the slowest vehicle, and you're a very fast driver, you cannot move faster than that one. You will have to go at the level of that slow vehicle, because otherwise you will be knocking people up and down. And what happens? You will destroy a whole community because of your careless. So these weak people in our midst, it is us to make sure that we encourage them. If you are an older teacher, you need to talk to these people so that they really need to know that you are building a team. So that is my learning, and that is how I've been able to nurture those who are actually coming. Even currently in my station, there are young thugs that I have moved closer to me. And there is a way in which I want them to become what I would really want them to become. So that teamwork is important. At the level of the HOD, any responsibility that you do, take it as the responsibility that has been given by God or himself. Because we all want to move Talek forward. And if we have to do that, then all of us must be brought on board. As I head towards conclusion, there is something that I want to mention, that even as you build the school, the teacher must also build himself. Where can the teachers invest? You must invest in circles, because remember also, if you don't have the money, you'll have a problem with the principal. So, at least you must get something. You must have something. You must also be using your money responsibly to build that team. Is that okay? So you need to invest in circles. You need to invest at the level of your family. Kindly don't destroy your families because you're working for the school. Am I making a lot of sense? Not that people have destroyed their families because they're working for the school. I was sharing with her that that MP is still alive today. I don't want to mention names. Still alive today, and he's still the MP. But the wife of the teacher went. So there are areas where we can invest as teachers very comfortably without destroying our what? have families. So you must take care of your families. Madam has got his sons and the daughters, and we talk about the daughter who is here. So the family also. The only thing that I know God does is that the children of teachers don't miss opportunities. That one I can assure you. You may not be as blessed as any other person, but one thing that I know, that God will take care of your children. God has, that one I'm sure of, because I've been tracking his performance, unless something ugly happens. So God would always bless the work of a teacher, because God cannot allow you to take the responsibility of other people's children, but God doesn't bless your children. So as you do this work, do it knowing, number one, that God will bless your children. Number two, that result that you get, by the way, I believe nothing much. I went to a school as an HOD, and when I went to that school as an HOD first, I found the mean of English at 4.4. I had a lot of initiatives, things that I did to change the mean from 4.4 to 5.3 to 6.1 to 6.7. Then I left when it was 7.1. So when I went for the interview to become a deputy, it was alright, because they were simply asking me, Mr. Oiko, how do you do this? Because we know when you left Masena and you went to Nyabondo was at 4.4. How have you been able to do all these things, to move the mean to 7.1? I said there is a way in which I organize myself, because I wouldn't want my school to fail. And I got to become a deputy principal. And so the things that you do will actually give you the promotion that you want. But if you're lazy, no one wants to promote a lazy person. By the way, let me tell you, this is what happens. By the time these interviews are called, there are a lot of things that happen behind the scenes. When these interviewers go, the panelists, there are certain information that they know about certain teachers. And therefore they hold those information, and that can compromise the kind of position that you actually applied for. So sometimes it is just good to do the right thing. Because when you do the right thing, God has a way of making the best for your teachers. So let me conclude. Welcome to Kisumu. And when you go back home, work. And God will bless that kind of work that you do. When you